Welcome back to Cary, North Carolina. College Cup semifinals Friday night. Syracuse took down Creighton in a 3-2 thriller. Indiana knocking off Pitt 2-0, and that's what they are playing for tonight. The National Championship Trophy here at Wake Med Soccer Park. Salem Stadium, 13 seed versus the 3 seed. Let's look at Indiana first and foremost. Devin, what jumps out to you, this lineup that they run back unchanged from Friday night?
I told you about the back line. Defensively, they're stout. They like to sit, but they can also press a little bit. Patrick McDonald, number 22, was incredible. The left footer, the way that he pinches outside, allows Wittenbrink to explore. Sarver and Gumbali, how much pressure can they get on the back line and continue to stretch the game while they're all together? But it does come down to JT Harms. 8 straight starts. They went back and forth. Brian Pratt and he, throughout the season, 5 shutouts to his name. He's been excellent throughout the entire tournament.
And Syracuse has been excellent all year, and again, this was not expected back in August, but they've been fantastic. 18 wins in this crew. Abdi Salim, the defender, you're focused in this 3-5-2. Why?
Couple of reasons. Number one, great in the semis. One of 2 players to play in all 11 shutouts this season is running mate Christian Curdy next to him as well, and he's matched up against Wittenbrink on that right-hand flank.
Matt Thompson is our center official. Salma Perez, Albert Escobar, and Dmitry Shavdarov. Our other officials, we are underway. 2022 College Cup, Indiana looking for their 9th title. Syracuse looking for their first in program history. One of the midfield by Giorgio Kashevsky, pops it out wide to Jonah Leibold. Leibold, early ball hooked in, looking for Opoku. Again, this is an Indiana team that has not surrendered a goal since the 85th minute mark of the Big Ten Championship tournament game against Rutgers, in which Indiana lost 3-1. They have gone 365 minutes scoreless, not been scored on in this tournament. Devin, as we settle into the national championship final, what are you looking for in the early part of this match?
I want to see centrally exactly what Syracuse is going to attack with here. They struggled a little bit the other night against Creighton. Of course, a different lineup here for the Hoosiers. But centrally, they needed to be on the ball more. And can they find the pockets just in front of the back line underneath the 2 central midfielders? And then up top, when Indiana starts to counter and go the other direction, where are they going to look to go? Is the two-headed monster going to be able to play off of each other? Are we going to see more of just a Sam Sarver with Gumbali underneath? They've got to have good representation on that back line, not just one-offs, because you'll get a lot of 2v1s, and that'll benefit Syracuse.
Giorgio Kashevsky, 3rd team All-ACC on the ball. Jonah Leibold, sophomore from Germany, trying to combine with Lorenzo Baselli, the Italian. Leaned out wide to Noah Singleman. Kashevsky tries to dink it over the top. Flag goes up. First offside of the match. And there's Matt Thompson, our center official. Perez, Escobar, Shavdarov managing tonight's game. JT Harms, 8 straight starts after going back and forth with Brian Pratt. Goalkeeper, 5 shutouts in those 8 starts. Baselli runs it down, finds the feet of Levante Johnson, first team All-American. He might have a shot, cuts it back, and defended well in the end by Beebe to the hands of Harms.
Yeah, the speed got the best of him here. Good recovery, though, by Beebe, because as the little cut comes back in, his hips get turned around. Very difficult as a defender once you pinch to the inside to then rotate to the exterior. Tries to turn him around, almost had him. But again, some of the last-ditch defending that you're going to see by Indiana tonight. You don't always want to see them scramble, but they are certainly the best in the business at doing so.
Play back to Olio Gunlay, sophomore from Ontario. Gunlay taking some space, plays at the feet of Baselli. Baselli subbed out in that match early on. We played 34 minutes because they made a little system change. Jackson Glenn came in and went to 4 at the back. And Glenn, talk about a big moment. Second most minutes he played all year. Outstanding as they kind of changed their system. Leibold on it. Charging at Sesok. Gets the early ball played in. Harms off his line. Syracuse asking questions early. And there's Todd Yeagley, a legend and part of a legendary family in college soccer. Jerry Yeagley, his father, 30 years the coach here at Indiana, 6 national titles. Todd, A Matt Herman winner as the best player in the nation. Also a national champion as a player. Also as a coach in 2012. He's the only coach in the history of men's college soccer to win the National Player of the Year award and win a national title as a coach. Quick restart, Herb Enderle on the ball. Second team all Big Ten 3 straight years. Out to Maloon Gumbali. Gumbali fires it in. Oh, Enderle was right there on the doorstep. He doesn't miss many like that.
Just gets his foot caught up underneath him a little bit. Good job by Gumbali. Thought maybe he missed this run a little bit because it was late to delay coming down to the end line. Does get into a 1v1. This is just simple. Got to do better. You got plenty of space. You got plenty of time. Ball coming across. There's a little bit of spin on it, but you do expect better from Enderle in front of goal.
Enderle, the senior from the Minnesota United Academy product. As I mentioned there, 3-time All Big Ten second team. Gonna want that one back, but can he flush it quick? That's Daniel Mooney. Let's test control, but
all right, we get it. All-American 25 years ago, Ian.
Oh, big tackle.
Still got it.
Still got it, right. Big pickup and transitional opportunity here for the Hoosiers. Head up, Sam Sarver on the ball. Elliot Gunlane tells Curdy to back up, and Curdy positionally defending it well out for the first corner. Here's Coach Mack. Take a look, folks. All-American at Hartwick.
Don't mind if you do.
2-time ACC Coach of the Year, up out of his seat. Getting his team to a second College Cup. They were here in 2015. They lost to Clemson in the semifinal of that game that year in penalties. Avenged that, if you will. Last game against Creighton, a 3-2 thriller. And now they're in their first national championship ever in men's soccer. Ryan Wittenbrink to take. Oh, driven ball. Sarver's there. He heads just wide. 2 good ops early for the Hoosiers.
Back-to-back ones, very uncharacteristic, especially from set pieces, because this team certainly knows how to complete them. How's the run? And that's just a missed mark there by Anthony Sinclair. Communication lacking a little bit for Sam Sarver, the little pinch off. Only 5'9", by the way. Gives you an idea of the amount of space that he was able to create for himself. He's a firecracker up top. He's got an engine, goes all night long. Sometimes he's got a running mate in Gumbali. Tommy Mahalik's another one that will come in and help him out. It is one look, by the way, on that chance that we just saw, the relationship between Gumbali and Enderle. They're interchangeable. Mahalik tends to drop in underneath, but with Gumbali up there, he's got that physical presence to help combat the back line, but they also like to switch Enderle. You don't see that as much with Mahalik. Expect to see him 20, 25 minutes into the game, more touches on the ball to attack from the interior positions.
That was Gumbali on your screen a second ago. Mahalik did come in the semifinal match, scoring a goal with 17 seconds to go in the first half. And that would be the second and final goal of that match as Indiana beat Pitt 2-0. Sinclair brings it down. Krzyzewski first-time ball, read well by Mooney, the third-team All-American in the back line. Sarver couldn't quite get his feet sorted. Laybold finds Nathan Opoku, and Opoku's that's not what he wanted there. Krzyzewski on it again. Sinclair, the senior from Costa Rica, on the ball. First time pass, too much on it, back to Holmes. There's Sinclair, has a great youth career at Costa Rica, captain there, a U17 World Cup team and the U20 CONCACAF Championship team, both the captains for that squad. Great leader, and as Ian McIntyre says, he doesn't get all the accolades, he's not all conference and whatnot, but he is the first name on their team sheet.
That's the glue that holds it all together. I mentioned what the center spots were going to look like. Already seeing Krzyzewski come down into it, but Sinclair is going to allow them to roam free, and he'll lock down the defensive positions. But the recovery runs that I talked about for the back line of Indiana, Sinclair's a part of that for this group. Just in front of the front three. We saw him in the semifinal the other night, clear one off the line. He just kind of drifts around, does what he's told. Not flashy at any point in time. He's not knocking 40, 50-yard balls to help stretch the game. Just just a blue-collar guy I'm sure would certainly fit into Todd Yeager's plans.
No doubt about that. Johnson can't run onto it. The transfer from Seattle. Out to Nick Sesak. Sesak, a couple of 11s working on each other. Baselli and Sesak. No foul called there. Finds the feet of Endeli. Lays it off. That's McDonald. Got a lot of space. Back to Wittenbrink. He wants to hit it with that right foot. Still Wittenbrink. Opts for Sesak. Body's in the box now. Brink gets a little room. Plays it in back post. And Russell Sheely called into action. Redshirt senior transfer from Maryland. Second team All-ACC. Sheely's had a great campaign. Let's go ahead of the curve here, Devin, and take a look at your keys to the game.
We're going to start with Syracuse and piecing the game together. You're going to see an in-a-minute press from Indiana. They'll jump the two, they'll pump one out of the midfield, and they're going to make you play a little bit more direct. Okay, they're also going to back off of you, so you're going to get pieces of this game where you're going to have to contort yourself. That does play into the asset of this Orangeman team because they are capable of being so interchangeable with each other. If they can continue the evolution that we saw the other night in the semifinal match against Creighton, it'll suit them just fine.
The Creighton game was a thriller. Blue Jays came in as the leading scoring team in the nation. It was a 3-2 game. Creighton went down 1-0, 2-1. They came back, but in the end, Opoku and Johnson connected with just 5 minutes left to give the Orange the win in their first appearance here in a championship game, and Endeli can't get on it. Looking for a quick transition. Opoku and Johnson both up there. Krzyzewski, play ball.
You're not tall enough for this goal, buddy.
Baselli. Tried the little reverse pass, but Krzyzewski checked his run. And we talked about Syracuse, never been here before, but they looked really calm and collected, and their coach Ian McIntyre before the game just hanging out, taking it all in. This is one of his things, though. We've seen him do that throughout the course of the season. Just finds his little quiet spot up there and watches pregame.
September 16th at Clemson. Number one Clemson, mind you, at that point in time. 45 minutes to go. Having a little walkabout. You all right? What, can I get you a cup of tea or anything? I'm doing just fine, boys. Smile and wave.
That game was the coming out party, as Coach says, and their players. They beat Clemson on the road, and Sarver flag up here. And they beat Clemson on the road in that game, a game they controlled a lot of it. And that gave them the belief that they could beat anybody. And from that point on, they've been on a roll. They've gone 13 straight unbeaten. Last time they lost was October 4th to Cornell 2-1, and they avenged that loss in their path here to the national championship game in the NCAA tournament.
Watch this matchup tonight, by the way, as he comes through and Sammy Sarver catches the ankle of Russell Sheely. There's no malintent there. He's just running through, and the leg comes out. That's going to leave a mark, though. But the other night, they had trouble with the pace in the back line. You know, the communication was lacking between Gunley, Christian Curdy, Abdi Salim. The three got to be better. And when the space starts to open up, where am I going to get support from? If you have to go one-on-one, someone's got to pinch back over. You got to help provide support defensively. Didn't see that enough in the matchup against Duncan McGuire. And although McGuire is certainly much bigger than Samuel Sarver, Sarver's got just as much pace. So he'll continue to push that tempo as well.
McGuire's the leading goal scorer in the nation. He scored his 23rd of the season in that match. Endeli heads it down to Sarver. Gumbali making the run. McDonald there. He's got Endeli, doesn't play him. Puts it out wide to Wittenberg. Again, he wants to cut in on that right foot. There he goes again. He'll get the shot off. Sheely there. Quick transition maybe for Syracuse. They've got it up already. Baselli on it. Krzyzewski almost turned it over in a dangerous area. Sinclair on it. Early ball deflects into the arms of Holmes. All right, Dev, let's check your keys for Indiana.
It's when to press and how to press for the Hoosiers. Todd Yeagley, and I agree with him here. When are they going to attack up top? We've already seen it a little bit. 2 different looks where they've bumped 2 or 3, applying pressure to this back line. And the reason you say that is when you go direct over the top, we've also seen this. You isolate your center backs. If you don't come together, you're going to create one-on-ones with the 2 strikers and the 2 center backs. That is not a good look for Indiana so far. I will say, though, defensively, they've been impressive so far. Good step-ins, the rotations to the outside. Love the movement we just saw on the far side of the field with Wittenbrink and McDonald. Even on the Wittenbrink cut back in, McDonald has to give him that presence on the left-hand side because he holds the runner on the inside. You hold an extra runner defensively, that allows more space to the interior for Wittenbrink to attack into.
And Wittenbrink's been deadly this year. He's got now 11 goals and 9 assists. Excuse me, 10 goals and 9 assists. Only 2 players. He's one of 2 players in the country to have those type of numbers in the goals and assist department. Brett Beebe trying to chase it down. He gets there. Beebe, the senior from Shorewood, Illinois, making his 23rd start of the season. And a little collision here. And Matt Thompson, see if he just had a quick talking to or just. We'll stop the clock there for a second. Let's take a look at the shot by Wittenbrink as he slow right now.
That's what I was talking about, though. Backside of it, Patrick McDonald, number 22 in white. He's the one who played the ball out there, the continuation of the run, drag a runner with you. If you stay stagnant, all of a sudden you're going to see an Anthony Sinclair go over with a single man, and now it's 2v1 Syracuse. Because he rotates with him, now you've given your player an opportunity to challenge from an individualistic standpoint. Good little cut back in, and that's just vintage Ryan Wittenberg. That's what he wants to do all night long.
Here he goes now to serve it in. Oh, headed out by Curdy. Christian Curdy, the center back, scored the first goal to open things up for Syracuse in the semifinal. Here comes a long throw, which they are effective at. Nick Sesak will take. He's got 7 assists on the year. 4 of them are from long throws. Also, Creighton scored in Syracuse in the same spot in a long throw on Friday. This is a key for both coaches, as they mentioned to us. Don and Shealy will corral it. And the ball did go out for a goal kick. Complaints looking for a corner. And it looked like Matt Thompson overruled Albert Escobar, the AR there, who looked like he was signaling for a corner.
No, I thought this ball came off one of the Syracuse boys as well. A little flick up over, good collection by Shealy, but we'll go over the end line first. Hard to believe that I have a disagreement with the referee.
Never. What are you talking about? Center back too. You guys always. You've nothing but great things to say about this.
2 best that anybody could have. What a good turn.
Oh, Sarver down hard. That's most likely going to be a card early in the match. And it will be for Abdi Salim in the book early, senior from Buffalo.
I've told you about his speed, though, and then has the turn just right around the outside. Gets underneath Anthony Sinclair. Just a little bump off of him. Shoulder to shoulder, get underneath. Keeps the ball close to his body, and then that long touch by. Super smart, because he gets around him. Tons of real estate to run into. That's what I was referencing, though, for Samuel Sarver. Similar to the matchup against McGuire the other night long. Problematic for the back line of Syracuse already.
See it. Looks like, yeah, we'll just play it short. Whipped in over the top. Sarver going to win the race, and Salim on that yellow next to him. Good use of his physical. You were giving a thumbs up there. You like that?
That's better. And not only is it better defending, it's good recovery because of the fact that you were just exploited over there.
Tomorrow night at ESPN2 and the app, our college basketball doubleheader starts in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, hosting the Citadel at Dean Smith Center, 7 Eastern. Then Brandon Miller, one of the best freshmen in the country, number 4 Alabama, hosts Penny Hardaway's Memphis Tigers crew. Jonah Leibold into the box, back heel to Opoku. Leibold lays it off to Krzyzewski.
Dallin, what you will see from Syracuse is as much as they want to play in transition, they don't force the issue. Yeagley understands that if they're going to play, they're going to play high. So if you go and they don't have numbers, they'll slow it down. They want to play with the ball for sure, but in a 30 or 40 yard gap. They don't want to maintain possession deep in their own territory. They want up-tempo.
Krzyzewski, he might give it a hit. He does. Wayward in the end.
Down to the tailgate lot. Hoosiers were nice and collected out there earlier. Tries to go join him. Krzyzewski, the season that he's had. 5 goals, 4 assists. Again, much like the Endley chance we saw from Indiana Hoosiers about 10 minutes into the game. Quality just lacking a little bit. You expect more. A little emotional override. Not exactly sure why. It's not like it's the national title game or anything.
Oh, here we go. Opoku on it. He's got Johnson to his left. Still Opoku. He plays single man. What a save by Harms.
Good delayed run as well by Noah Singleman, because as Opoku has the ball at his feet, he's already got an overlapping run coming. Delayed from Baselli, but he stops because he sees that Singleman actually is higher up. And when he's got more width to the run down, you create more balance. It gives you more options coming forward. You can slide the ball in through. He can go direct himself or cut it back across. Smart by Baselli. Excellent run by Noah Singleman.
Second corner, low ball played in and down the feet of Salim.
Taken by number 3, Yaki Salim.
It'll be an opportunity for Salim to be a hero, getting his first goal of the season in a massive time. Christian Curdy did that as a defender to open the game, as I mentioned, in the semifinal.
The 2 midfielders from Indiana going to work now, though, McDonald and Jack Wagner. Instrumental in the exploitation of space the other night. Now you got to find a way to start to disrupt the central spots for Syracuse, even if it takes Joey Mayer coming off. Got to be clean. Can't give it away there.
Center back gives it away. Could be an opportunity. Krzyzewski's got Johnson. Opoku. Still shot saved by Harms.
Watch the positioning by JT Harms as this ball lets fly. It's perfect. When you discuss the goalkeepers that have come through this university the past couple of seasons, Trey Muse, pro, Roman Celentano, what he did in MLS last season, when comparing JT Harms to them, they said he makes great saves, yes, but his positioning is better than all 3 combined. And that's how good he is, and that's a good representation of it. Sets himself up, squares his shoulders, and allows himself to get low on this because he knows the natural tendency of that run is going to be low and away from him. Excellent save.
Harms, a transfer from Duke. Again, 5 shutouts last 8 games for him as he kind of locked in the starting spot. Baselli to take the free kick. Lift in. Let it out, but Sinclair will keep it. Oh, big turnover. Sarver, Junior's way off his goal. He's got options in the middle. He plays Endley. Can he connect? And just in the last second, Krzyzewski made a great recovery run and broke it up. We may be going the other way. These 2 programs are known for their basketball programs in history. We're looking at an up and down hoops game right now. Charging down the wing, driven in toward the spot, nobody there. And a clever flick. Gubali, just in time, Curdy is there. With the game open, if it opens up like this, who does it favor? Come back to the second as Gumbali's trying to make a play into the box. Crafty from Saloon.
It's going to favor Syracuse if it continues this way, just because of the amount of ground you're going to have to cover. There's so much speed on the field for Syracuse, whether it's Baselli, Kachevsky in the midfield, even Anthony Sinclair can open it up, but Leibold, Noah Singleman, we know the two strikers up top. When it goes end to end, there's a lot more space to run through. Indiana, they're more quality. They got to work in unison. You're looking for a combination between 4 and 5 guys, although it's been very impressive what we've seen so far from Sam Sarver, Gumbali, and Herb Endeli.
Great pass by Sarver. Finds Sesak in the overlap, and I believe he was going for goal, but it was wide.
He's got a lot to cover here tonight, Nick. Sesak.
Kevin Warren, the Big Ten commissioner, in the building. Checking out the boys here. On the other side. Jim Phillips, the commissioner of the ACC, here as well, representing. Of course, Clemson won out of the ACC last year, the national title. Syracuse won the ACC conference tournament on this very field just last month, taking down the aforementioned Tigers. Clever touch by Opoku. Johnson in a foot race with Mayer. Johnson keeps it in. Oh, outside the boot pass, pretty. Doesn't connect though. Opoku giving a little bit of room by Mayer. Still Opoku gets the shot. It's in! He opens the account for the game again! Nathan Opoku! His 11th goal of the season and giving Syracuse a 1-0 lead.
Two very different looks from the strikers up top. Levante Johnson, he makes you work for it. Very direct in nature. Opoku, the exact opposite. He's got an engine, yes, but watch his feet. Great with the back to the goal and unpredictable. The inability to figure out exactly what the scout is going to be on him. The marking's not bad whatsoever. You've got the 2v1 there, coverage defensively, but there's too much respect. The tail end of it. Just a little mistake by the freshman in Wagner. You got to step up into the space there. Had exactly what you wanted in terms of the matchups. Even the ball, after it pops out, you step in, it's pushed away, you lay off, Opoku makes you pay.
Opoku, what a absolutely outstanding finish from the sophomore from Accra, Ghana. The first goal JT Holmes has surrendered in 365 plus minutes, 389 minutes now. And Opoku, one of these key transfers for Syracuse. He came from an NAIA school in Kentucky. Lorenzo Baselli, a Division III school in Dallas. Levante Johnson came from Seattle. And all three of them have been huge for the Syracuse success. And you just saw what Opoku could do. He literally dropped Joey Mayer, cut back on Beebe, and then put it in beautifully with his left foot.
That's what we were talking about, though, with the space as the game opens up, right? If it's slowed down, you allow yourself defensively to reset. You keep the game in front of you. That's what Indiana is so great at. Historically, what these teams have been like, some of them run at you, some press, some attack. This team removes your best assets from you. They got almost all of that right because, yes, the ball's knocked in, but you have the coverage there defensively. You're marked up. There's one over the back shoulder. There's one on the player. Even as he got turned, you still had players with the ability to step in. The moment just got the best of you right there.
Individual moment of brilliance there by Nathan Opoku. I'm sure Joey Mayer's going to want that one back, the junior from Illinois. Just passing 20 minutes here. Alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff from Wake Med Soccer Park here in Cary, North Carolina. College Cup National Final. Indiana seeking its 9th national championship. This team was here 2 years ago against Marshall. 6 starters on the field right now. Fell in that game 1-0 to Marshall in overtime. Syracuse has never been on this stage with a national championship to play for, but they are up 1-0 behind a Nathan Opoku goal in the 24th minute. So goals change games. How do you think this goal may change the game we've seen to this point, or will it?
We've already made the change in Tommy Mahalik coming in, right? So that guy comes in off the bench. You move, which is interesting here. You move Gumbali off. We understand that. He had been impactful, but what they're looking for right now is still pressure up top. More importantly, the space on the inside. That little check that you're getting right there. As he comes down in, you ask 2 questions. On the back line of the 3, Olagunle, Curdy, Salim, who's going to go with him? And if you pass, can Anthony Sinclair step over? If you don't go with him, now you need coverage defensively within the midfield. That's one thing we haven't seen a lot of from Indiana, but we did tell you with Mahalik coming in, it's the luxury that he gives you. Right now you've got to branch off of McDonald or Wagner playing through the middle. It's really the only critique that you could be going forward. Direct into Sarver, we know that. A little bit out of Wittenbrink, not a real presence centrally yet.
And Mahalik came in for Indiana. Colin Byros, 13 in orange and blue, came in place Lorenzo Baselli. Also, Kurt Kalov entered the fray as well. Pardon me, Kalov is waiting to enter. Krzyzewski lays it off to the feet of Opoku. Quickly starting to throw in. Sarver trying to run it down. Purdy does well. And again, here comes that long throw from Sesak. We mentioned it before, will again. 7 assists on the year for Sesak. 4 of them from long throws like this. And Creighton did score on a long throw Friday night against Syracuse. Looking for Mayer, headed down. And this time we'll go out for a corner. Second of the match for the Hoosiers.
This is an area of expertise, though, when they've struggled in games or are looking for a moment. Indiana Hoosiers, 41% of their goals coming from dead ball situations. It is the long throw. Penalties from the corners, and then defensively for Syracuse, what they're capable of, 31%. They struggled a little bit in these situations.
Plays it short, changes the ankle back to Wittenbrink. Floats it in, Sinclair heads it down. Right, got good purchase on it. Falls to Mayer, tried to lay it off to Wittenbrink, but Byros was there to pick it up.
Come on! Indiana shot taken by number 51. Yeah, right here.
To the feet of Harms, not the best distribution. It does find Sarver. Well played. And the offside flag goes up. You agreed right away, huh?
It's Mahalik is the problem, and even though he's not the recipient of the ball through, he is impactful on the play and just gets in behind a little bit early. He reads it. This guy hesitates. See, he's asking for it now. He wanted that ball sooner. It's close.
And you thought he became active then?
He is active because he's part of the play. That ball's only coming in one spot. Either he's going to continue his run and hold the center back in, or the ball's going to come initially. Either way, he's a part of it and affects it. It's good refereeing.
Donald now trying to play it up to Sarver. Gunley asking for the flag. None coming. Sarver does get down there. Great run from McDonald into the box, and from Mahalik into the box. Sarver cut back. Shoulder to shoulder, no call. Sarver continues to fight. Sophomore goes down and this time gets the call. He is an energizer bunny. Doesn't stop working. And when we said to him the other day about pitch defense, he goes, just 4 defenders, I got to score. He could care less who's in front of him.
Impressive work, though, because he was trying to pick out Nick Sesak on the back post run. Good step in by Sinclair. No quit, though. Right back to ground. Difficult tackle to make in from behind with no contact on the player to pick it up. They do like to play short in these situations. And just keep an eye. Jack Wagner, 21, Indiana, right at the top of the box, all by his lonesome.
Drive it in low. Skipped up and over for a corner. Third of the match for the Hoosiers. Wittenbrink makes the jog all the way across to take it. Floated back post. Floated up, not cleaned up, falls, it's in! McDonald, he equalizes! His second goal of the season! And there's a melee in the corner, because it's 1-1 in the national final. .41% of this team's goals coming from dead ball situations. Enter the set piece. They change games. The ball's actually won by Cuse on the backside here, but the 50-50, they can't win the second one. Todd Yeagley said, we got to find a way. Lock down their strikers, the intermittent press, but we have to win the 50-50 balls. McDonald steps in. For everybody at home, this kid's left-footed. You would never know it for the class take off this right foot into the corner. Perfect technique. Allows the ball to come to him, drops down in, doesn't over-rotate. You'll see guys come too lateral here and create spin. Instead, steps right through the ball into the bottom corner. Great angle from our crew in the truck there. Director Johnny Hanna. You could see there was no, there's nothing Russell Shealy can do. You can't even see the ball. It went through that little window of about 6 bodies to tie this thing up at 1. What a big response by Rosonic. Abel dribbling into some trouble. Staying with it though. Well done. The Syracuse team has only allowed multiple goals in 3 games this season. One was to Creighton the other day, UVA about a month ago, and Cornell in the beginning of October. Sarver wanting more. Wittenbrink trying to play Sarver. Well read by Sinclair. It's Kurt Kaloff who just checked in the game on the ball. Abel got Green in front of him. Byros. Clever ball to Opoku. Saw what he could do before already. The opening goal of the match. Puts it in. Falls. 2-1! And it's Kaloff, super sub right off the bench, and a huge impact. 3rd goal of the season for the sophomore. And again at a big time like he did in the ACC tournament.
Even when you know something's coming at you, to be able to stop it is still almost impossible at times when the class of Nathan Opoku is on full display. Watch the striker, top of the 18. He slows it down. He can be selfish at times, but this is one of the better moments because watch the space open up at the top of the box. Beautiful. The rotation, you get Kaloff coming all the way from the far post. Whose footwork's better? The ability to bring this back in or that touch right there? It gives you the ability, if you're Kaloff, you can poke with the right, you can instep with the left. He chooses the former, and certainly wisely. The question for him, with Ian McIntyre is how do I get him on the field? Noah Singelman's usually the starter. If I bring him to the interior, I've got Baselli, Kashevsky, Byros. I've got to find a way to get him into the mix because he's so impactful. Answers the call for the go-ahead goal.
And Opoku, a goal and assist already in this game, just like he had in the semifinal. Indiana went 386 minutes without having a goal scored on them. They've been scored on twice in less than 10 minutes in this match. Kurt Kalov again impacting a game in a big way. He was great in the ACC tournament. He scored directly from a corner in the quarterfinal game against UVM. And now that little deft finish.
And now you got to lean on some of the boys that are more experienced, even though they have conceded. Yes, Sesak, Mooney, Mayer, Beebe. Let's start having a talk. Let's be positive, get ourselves back on track right now. Even though the game has opened up, continue the communication. Let's find a way to lock down some of these spaces because, to be fair, although it's been good from Syracuse, there are mistakes being made by Indiana. They're not necessarily getting outplayed.
How about the response from Syracuse? Whenever Creighton equalized against them on Friday night, 1:31 seconds they scored. Tonight they get equalized on 1:26 seconds they scored again to take the lead. Maybold drives it through, finds his way to Singelman. Dug out by McDonald. Swim move to get right in front, steal the ball back. Oh, Mayer goes down hard and right into the pocket. Matt Thompson goes, and Anthony Sinclair will see the card, the second of the game for an Orange player.
Good job by Joey Mayer to step through this because he knows the contact's coming. Gets it on two fronts. And a follow through on the left and his standing foot on the right peg. Haven't seen a lot of Tommy Mahalik since coming on, just struggling to find the rhythm of the game so far. The relationship that had developed between Endeli, Sarver, Gumbali, even though you removed Gumbali, Endeli's quieted as well. He is having to track alongside Sesak, Jonah Leibold on this far side.
Orange pouring a little forward here to press a bit. Yeah, it goes long. Gunlight exit into some space. Mayers. Not clean. NCAA women's volleyball semifinals on ESPN and the app Thursday night. San Diego takes on Texas in the first matchup at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Then it's Pitt squaring off against Louisville, an all-ACC affair, who's back in the semifinals for the second straight year the cards are. Both teams, I should say. Opoku working again. Plays it forward to Byros. Flag is down. He goes down. Looking for the call. Not going to get it, but they will get a corner. What do you think here, Dev?
No harm, no foul.
Shocking from a center back. Didn't even look at the replay. Were you even watching the live?
I watched it live.
Immediately.
Watch his body. He's already going around. He sort of leans into it a little bit. Right? I'm going to fall. Thank you. It's a good job by Sesak to pull out of it, though, because he does go to ground, but his legs pull back from it. Make sure that there's no contact or questioning whatsoever from the referee.
Oh, almost a direct opportunity there. As we mentioned, Kalov scored that way against UVM. Almost did it against Farms here. He had it covered maybe. A couple more subs coming in for Syracuse. We got Camden Holbrook, local product, Cary, North Carolina guy, the senior, transfer from App State. Comes in for Jonah Leibold. And Julius Rausch is in, the sophomore from Dusseldorf, Germany. Grew up in the Borussia Dortmund Academy for a number of years, also in the Dusseldorf Academy. Great pedigree from number 9. First time ball looking for Byros, finds him. Byros gets it right, just wide. Fourth time this year that Indiana's given up 2 goals in a match. They're 0-2-2 in those games. Mayer knocks it wide to Beebe. Passed a little bit short. Roush may be able to win this race. He can't. This is an Indiana team, as you mentioned. 6 guys started in that 2020 game. Heartbreaking loss 1-0 to Marshall in overtime. They talked to us on Thursday about revenge and coming here to make that right. And they play for national championships. That's what this program is about. Do you feel more pressure in a situation like this? If you're down 2-1 right now, given all the stuff that this program has achieved?
Well, there's an expectation that comes with wearing that jersey in general, yet alone the fact that, I'd like to be very clear, this is not my opinion, but it's been a little bit since they won one.
10 years.
It's 10 years since they won in 2012, and so the pressure does start to mount for sure. And you kind of look around going, man, when is this ever going to turn, right? Especially if you're Todd Yeagley. But they've got so much talent. I mean, this is far from over. Let's be really clear in this situation, especially for these kids who, and let's remember, they are children. They are kids, right? These are young men trying to mature within the game, and as people, we put so much pressure on them and what they're capable of doing, but they're just still so young. They're trying to grow and figure things out as well. But they have done a lot at the youth level. I mean, that's why they're recruited to come to these types of universities, especially Indiana, because they expect the pressure. They're welcoming of it. You know, guys like Wittenbrink, who's been a high school All-American. Guys like Jack Wagner, who spent the entire summer training with St. Louis City 2 and MLS Next Pro. They could step up.
Kalov creates a turnover here. He drives end line. They're looking for more. Roush was trying to carve out some space in front of goal there. Third corner of the match for Cuse. Kalov, a sophomore from New Jersey, Del Barton High School All-American. Kalov will take this. Outswinger. Heads down, falls to Sinclair. You could see, got good purchase. We got that angle right there, but you could see it rising the whole time.
He's got to let that drop another half second. Everything else perfect as he brings it down. It's got a little spin on it. Watch as it drops. Gets to about the knee height. You need that a little bit lower. He lets it come lower. You can just strike right through it. Instead, you're reaching. As you reach, your body drifts back. That's you in a Sunday league, right?
No, I look like Harry Kane in that second penalty in a Sunday league.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to do it. He's a Spur. I'm like Arsenal fan. Early ball played in. Oh no! Bailed out in the back post by Beebe because Harms had a little miss kick there. And down goes Holmbrook at the hands of Daniel Muni, the third-team All-American and back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year. Take another look here. Sorry, Mayer on the miss kick.
Lucky on the backside, but watch Mooney as he stepped through. They're chasing a little bit right now. And
say that would they be happy to get to halftime 2-1 right now?
They need to have a conversation with their manager and Todd Yeagley to just say, guys, settle, because certainly the momentum and the better run of form has been from Syracuse, but it's only a 2-1 game. Slow it down. Your mental thought process has to be more calculated. They're really struggling in rotation right now is the main issue, because as numbers are coming forward, they're tracking in one area, but then on the backside of it, as good as they've been all season long, and especially in the tournament, they're not providing proper coverage in the central spots.
Oh, going for goal right to the arms of Harms. 4:25 to go. This Syracuse team 10-1-1 against ranked teams this year. They've had an outstanding season. Calov's been a big part of that.
There's just not enough behind it. I'd like to see them go at this back line more, create the numerical advantages we saw in the opening 15 minutes where they were running at them. Instead, Orange getting behind the ball.
Wittenbrink cutting inside, never there. Coverage of the NCAA championships continues with the Women's Volleyball Championship semifinals Thursday, December 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. For more information on the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, log on to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. This is a Syracuse team that's done this all year. They've beaten good teams. They've controlled games against very good teams. Indiana's done their thing as well, too. They're 13th seed for a reason. They scored with 17 seconds to go in the first half against Pitt, which completely changed that game. Made it 2-0. And people would argue at that point it was a little bit of a run of play going the other way. Sarver goes down. What do you think there?
Well, there's definitely contact. What the referee, Matthew Thompson's probably looking at is Sarver slowing up into him, but even then, you can't just throw right through the player. You have to move around him. I thought a whistle was coming.
Salim looking for Roush, but picked off by Mayer. Let's take a look at that again.
Just watching his body. There, I mean, sort of backs up into it a little bit, drags his foot. Maybe that's what Matthew Thompson sees. Again, there's still contact, though. It's a curious one.
Thompson signaled right away, get up. He was not having it. As Mooney tries to play in Enderle, but Enderle was coming short.
Situations like that, I ask a question. If that occurs down here 5 yards from the end line, what do you call him there?
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna make that statement there, just make sure you're consistent. And he has been quite accountable here in the first half. Matthew Thompson's done a good job policing everybody, letting the game be open as well.
Right down, feet of Cali. He tried to play it first time over to Byros. Byros. It's crafty, lays it off. Good first touch by Krzyzewski. Deflected well. Oh, trying to hold it up on Oyedunlay. And they'll pull it back for the foul on Mahalik by Oyedunlay. Ooh, touch. Full reverse pass by Beebe, but Salim was there. Roush lays it out to Krzyzewski. Back to Roush. Into Byros. Good run from Holbrook. Early ball, Roush. Good defense by Mayer. Some body spill as we cross 60 seconds to go in the first half.
Good step here by Joey Mayer. The midfield just don't have enough coverage as the game opens. These are the secondary runners that I talked about, and centrally, Russell cut back across. Great read. He's expecting help from Jack Wagner, but a good step up by Joey Mayer into space in the 50-50 ball.
Well done by Mayer, brother of Jack Mayer, who from All-American here at Indiana, now playing his trade at MLS. Over played it into the channel, nobody there though. Ten seconds to go, first half. Your thoughts, sir? 2-1, Cuse.
They're struggling a little bit right now, Indiana. They're trying to find a way to get back on track with their game plan. Bouncing all over, certainly heads down, but only the one goal. You got to find a way when you come off the back line to make sure that you're a collective unit. That's what we've seen really towards the tail end of the season, and certainly in the run to the College Cup, and that's what escaped him in the opening 45 minutes. If you're Syracuse, yes, you have conceded the goal from the set piece. That's one of the biggest focal points, but attacking-wise, Ian McIntyre's got to be quite happy. They certainly created a ton of chances.
Here we go. 45 minutes left in the national championship game. Syracuse has never hoisted this trophy. Indiana's done it 8 times in their history. They've been in this final 17 times now. And 6 of these guys on the field right now. We're here in 2020 when they lost by a goal to Marshall 1-0. They do not want to relive that. They've got 45 minutes to flip the script. Matt Thompson is our center official. And we are underway in the second half. Finding the chest of Nathan Opoku, the third-team All-American, has a goal and assist in this game. He has the same in the semifinal Friday. They beat Creighton 3-2. Krzyzewski sees Levante Johnson making the run into the channel. Joey Mayer reads it well. All right, Dev, You heard what Todd Yeagley said. You heard what Ian McIntyre had to say before going to break. What do you say? What needs to happen for each one of these teams in these, especially early part of this half?
Fully agree with Todd Yeagley. In fact, before he was kind enough to join us, I looked right at you and said it's got to be Gumbali. They've got to find a way physically to be more demanding on the back three of Syracuse. Everybody thinks you go in transition, okay, you play into space, but you got to put a body on those players as well, because then as you disrupt, you allow the guys behind you to come up, right? You forget that those runs, even if you don't win the ball, Patrick McDonald, Jack Wagoner to reset themselves, that allows Ryan Wittenbrink to get involved too. If you're Syracuse, much of the same. Be cognizant of when there are restarts, that everybody has their marks, but they created a ton in the first half and probably deserved, I don't want to say deserved, they could have gotten more than just 2 goals. And be weary. This Indiana team, said it at halftime, I'll say it again.
They could have more than 1 goal too, but they were
100%. And Endely's miss. And there was the post, the ball over the end line. 1 goal makes me a little bit nervous if I'm wearing a Syracuse jersey right now.
Gumbali in space, plays it wide to Endely and tracked back nicely there by Jonah Leibold. Gumbali on it again. Pass short. Gunlay blasts it out. Matt Thompson's going to back up Sesak, who is making his way forward. Indiana 0-3-1 in the season when trailing at the half. Remember, was no overtime in the regular season, but of course in this situation there is. And here goes Herb Endely. We've seen him charge forward that exact spot. Beat Pitt 2 years ago in the semifinal with a great run and a great blast right there on that goal, in that angle basically. 79th minute winner to send them to the final against Marshall, in which, yes, they fell 1-0. Good crowd on hand here tonight. Wake Med Soccer Park in Salem Stadium. Hosting us yet again for the Men's College Cup. Women last week played a wild game. UCLA equalized with under 20 seconds to go against North Carolina and then won 3-2 in overtime. Opoku again, silky with his feet. Picked up by Gumbali. Still Gumbali. Eventually ridden off the ball by Sinclair, and Sinclair is carrying a yellow. Really disciplined by him to not foul throughout that whole transition. Good step by Sinclair. Finally finds the feet of Opoku after that back and forth. Looking over the top to Johnson, who's straight outside.
Interesting little tidbit here for Indiana. We saw it towards the tail end of the first half from Daniel Mooney. Watch him coming off the back line. Very aggressive, respect it. It's something that they toyed with both in preseason and at the beginning of the year. We saw it a couple of times in the Clemson matchup in the first game of the season, where they want him to be aggressive. Add himself as a midfielder to the mix on the inside. You get the extra body. Just be careful with the balls coming back up over the top.
Gumbali fouled by Curdy. Curdy kind of kicks it away. He'll get a quick talking to by Matt Thompson. Brink to play it in. Back post and headed out by Gunlay. Just to Beebe. Sesak. Ian McIntyre imploring to put some pressure on the ball. Mayer was wiped out, but no call.
That's a nice ball.
Big switch to Sarver in a lot of space there. And closed down by Baselli. Wittenbrink making the run in the inside there. Still Wittenbrink skipping into the box. Donald, the goal scorer for Indiana in this match, keeps it in. Mooney, third-team All-American on the ball, striding into a lot of space. He'll clip it in. He's got Sarver, but Sheely right there. Well read by the second-team All-ACC keeper. There's the Indiana band giving us something here. Welcome to the jungle. Guns N' Roses for you.
Sarver flag up. If you were in the Indiana band, what instrument would you play?
I want drums. I'll play the drums. Before you answer that, Jerry Egley, the legend, I would like to ask him the same question. Yes. Built this Indiana program, 30 years there, 6 national championships, National Soccer Hall of Fame back in '89, and his son Todd eventually taking over for him. Todd's 13th year here, and Todd has won this title in 2012, looking for a second one. As you mentioned before, when he played for his father, he won the Matt Herman Trophy, the National Player of the Year. 4-time All-American Todd was, and his sons, Ben and Grant, are on the roster. Ben has played in every game this year, and see the coaching tree is, I mean, it's like a who's who.
They certainly know what they're doing, don't they? I mean, what they've been able to produce coming out of this program.
Yeah, not just players. For all these guys, all the coaches.
National Coach of the Year, Hall of Famer. How's that Sunday dinner for you? What's that like?
I mean, you brought this up to me because I can't do math. This is the 50th year of Indiana soccer. They've been to 22 college cups. That's 44% of seasons you suited up. You're in the Final Four. That's nuts. Krzyzewski looking for some space. Johnson was spilled in the box. Good run by Singleman. They connect, and he just couldn't bring it in. Step by Salim. The feet of Wagner. All freshman team here in the Big Ten. Turnover, tough spot. Opoku. There, back to Harms.
Better in possession, but this area right here, that little jump route. Yep.
Good recovery by Wittenbrink.
If you watch, there's like 30 yards in the midfield that they're having trouble with their link-up play. McDonald and Wagner, as they come in possession to get it, they're having a real hard time playing out of the back.
Able to speedster, but dispossessed nicely by Wagner. Big tackle by Baselli. Good ball out to Beebe. Johnson tracking all the way back. Their All-American striker just bumps Beebe off the ball. Oh, that looked too easy. Don't see that every day from a guy that's known for goal scoring.
I'll take it, though. Yeah. I'm appreciative of your Christian Curdy or Abdi Salim. Little things, though. Still escaping the Hoosiers. Good job playing out. You gain possession. You get Beebe on the overlapping run. Wittenbrink is up high, and instead of continuing his run, trying to stretch and allow space to open up, he slows his run and inadvertently it allows Syracuse to create the numerical advantage for themselves because it blocks it down. He shifts over, and now you're 2v1. You had the advantage. You just got to play quicker and be smarter with it.
Singleman keeps it in play, but turns it over. Little miss kick there by Beebe. Feet to Krzyzewski. Singleman in a lot of space. Johnson wants to play to his feet. He gets it. Pushed off the ball. Touched by Wagner. Johnson again tracking down. Transfer from Seattle. I mean, this what Johnson has done. Him and Opoku, both transfers into Syracuse this year, both All-Americans. Johnson first team by the United Soccer Coaches. Opoku third team. Both first team All-ACC. Those guys are game changers. And they're about to be history changers if they hold on to this scoreline. Getting Syracuse its first ever national championship. To Krzyzewski, Baselli. Mooney is there, the two-time Big Ten Defender of the Year, third-team All-American, cleans up. Oof. You like that? Just Meigs, Wittenbrink. Leibold on it. A different gear. Krzyzewski head up, back to Oyagunle. Baselli plays it back, gets it to the feet of Opoku. He's been dangerous in the box. And just a little, not panic, but it was getting tight there, and Mayer puts it out for a corner.
Better that, though, than what we saw in the first half, where the bounce comes in, then you back off.
Yeah.
A continuation by Joey Mayer. Center back, better safe than sorry. Just knock it over the end line. Quick communication, everybody mark.
Fourth corner of the match. Baselli takes a lot of crowd around JT Harms right now. Headed out by Beebe, but Singleman's back into the mixer. Flashes across the goal, finds his way all the way back to Baselli. Leibold. Dome with Wagner. Able to get a cross off. Could be dangerous. Found the defender, Abi Salim. Syracuse putting a little bit of pressure on here, looking for that third goal. Plays Opoku in the channel. Can he get there? He can. First time ball. Oh, and a missed kick there by Mayer.
It's a very similar run to what we saw in the third goal against Creighton, right? That little peel off. He's so good at recognizing that back shoulder run.
Singleman, well done. Gets it to Sinclair. He's looking for options. Flicks it back to Krzyzewski. Nice little flick there. It's Johnson. He's able to turn. And did go off of Johnson for the goal kick. Coverage of the NCAA Championships continues with the Women's Volleyball Championship semifinals Thursday, December 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. For more information on the NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship, log on to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. The Syracuse team, what they could accomplish here. This is a team that didn't make the NCAA tournament last year. We're out of the ACC quarterfinals, only won 8 games. A 10-win improvement this year, the most in school history, and a chance here to win a national championship to go along with their ACC tournament championship and their ACC Atlantic Division championship. Only one of their ACC team has done that, UNC back in 11, winning the treble, if you will. Ian McIntyre told us a lot of guys went through some tough times, man. They had some rough years and lean years, and the guys that stuck with them. They've got 12 transfers on the roster over 2 years that helped rebuild this program. We mentioned a couple in Johnson, Opoku, and Baselli this past offseason that helped change this year's trajectory. But these guys have taken their lumps and now they're on the precipice. They're 30 minutes away from doing something nobody thought they could have done in August.
You're a College Cup team in 2015 and 2020, win 2 games. And think about that turnaround.
Yeah.
Massive. But it's the change too, right? With the transfer market, and normally we use that terminology when we talk about the professional ranks, but the way that collegiate soccer has gone, you're seeing younger and younger talented individuals getting opportunities within the professional ranks. So from a recruiting standpoint, it makes it that much more difficult.
Oh, slip through, and Shealy off his line. Smart. Read well. Sassak lets it down. Sarver's off.
It makes it more difficult to find a way to consistently bring in talent. That's why you've seen such a shift at the international level, as well as guys transferring schools. Whether it's a desire to fulfill a childhood dream, and maybe when you were coming out of high school, you weren't good enough to go to Syracuse, right? Okay, 2 good seasons. Levante Johnson, Nathaniel Opoku, they get their shout. Speaking of professional ranks, a couple of those boys got the draft right around the corner.
Some less scouts in attendance. Opoku, they wanted appeals for an on-handball. No call. He's going to get the shot off. And wow, that could have been game-changing because that did look like a handball.
We missed one here. This thing pops up off the deck. That's the arm away from the body right there. He did miss it. Matthew Thompson, unfortunately, screened a little bit by Patrick McDonald in front of him, but it's pretty clear. I don't recall the hand or the elbow. Last I checked, it's still unallowed. It's to the bottom of the armpit. Elbow, farther than that.
Look at you.
No spot.
You're an orthopedist now.
IFAB test next week, so.
Hey. Couple changes for Indiana. Alec came back in the game, and for Syracuse as well. Kalog's back in the game. They're waiting for him to check in. Alec just in, skipping through some defenders. Turns it over though. Dangerous area. Opoku. Looking for a window, couldn't get it. Crowded out by Moon. Mahalik scored the second goal against Pitt. There on your screen there, second team all Big Ten for the sophomore.
In the channel. You got to stretch here, run right at him. You come at Singleman, he's going to have to force himself to commit to one or the other.
Brink trying to get in line, rolls it back. Big touch by Salim because Mahalik was arriving on the scene. Purdy looking for some help here. You got your central center back. Oh, and they call a foul on Purdy there. McDonald, the goal scorer, will take the throw quickly. Wanted to take the free kick quickly.
Let's slow it down here.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Lack of opportunities that you've had allow guys like Joey Mayer and Daniel Mooney to come off the back line, set yourself.
Yep, they are trotting forward. Mayer 2, Mooney 5. Mayer unmarked at the top of the 18 you see there on your screen.
Just watch, they do run this stunt where they go all the way to the back post, try and get a secondary one and come up underneath, square back to 6.
Brink looking for it. You see Mayer trying to ride with Mahalik. First time strike. Out for a corner. Fourth corner of the match for Indiana. Wittenbrink to take. They scored off the set piece before. Can they do it again? Driven ball. Headed down by McDonald to the feet of Opoku. He's trying to release Leibold up the wing, and Leibold can go, but he just lost his footing. Turf Monster got him. He's hurt. He's upset, not hurt. He just can't believe it.
Well, your feelings than anything, your pride. Yeah. That's one, if you escape out of here with a victory, regardless of the result,
Somebody bringing that up?
That's a conversation in the dressing room that maybe isn't going to go so kindly.
Wagner spinning back. Temperature down to about 41 degrees here in Cary, North Carolina. Devin has fully boxed me out of the heater up here.
No,
Sir?
I moved over.
We're pushing you around center back here.
Snugly.
And dug out. And then trying to release Mahalik, but there's Sheely again off his line. Oh, off of Mahalik. And going out for a throw, and the sophomore looks like he's a little slow to get up. It wasn't just the contact of the ball, but how he fell too.
Slight hesitation by Russell Sheely to come off his line, almost questioning as to whether or not he thought he had enough time to get in a challenge on Tommy Mahalik.
Couple subs here. Kurt Kalov, who scored the second goal in this match, he trots on. Take a look at his goal as Levante Johnson heads off. Assisted by Opoku.
Yeah, that little touch right there. Beautiful. Doesn't try to hit it first time, recognizes that he's got about a 4-yard circumference, composes himself, give yourself options.
Byros trying to play it back to Leibold. It was cool as you like, that first touch. Just poked it right in the back of the net. Indiana's fans trying to urge them forward, all coming to their feet right now.
A friendly reminder for Kurt Kalov, because he was extremely influential in their Elite Eight game.
Yeah.
And that was a difficult decision for Ian McIntyre, because he had to say to one of his captains, Noah Singelman, you got to take a seat. But that's sort of the mantra for everybody on this team. They're willing to do whatever it takes, even if it means the main guy sitting down.
Byros, one of those guys, didn't get many minutes in the semifinal for the tactical change going forward at the back. And he said to us, Byros, Kalov, those guys will have an impact on this game, especially because they'll be more fresh. They didn't run a lot of minutes on Friday night. Kalov to take. Byros will be short right there. Well, two unmarked atop the box here, Singelman and Krzyzewski. Gets in, swinging ball, and hooked out by Wagner.
Good step there by Daniel Mooney. He's tucked it up here in the second half.
Sheely way off. He hardly retreated after the corner, but now there's still an opportunity. Mahalik trying to tip it for deep. Sheely gets a touch on it. He's been off his line all half, and it's been to their success, but that was almost failure.
And you feel for Tommy Mahalik here, because with the space, it's a difficult take. He has to hit it first time, and because of it, the way his hips are coming, he can't hit it with his laces. Little bit of his instep, which causes the English on the ball to come away from the goalkeeper. Still look like glory was set, if not for Sheely.
Well, here we go, fifth corner of the match, Wittenbrink to take. In swinging back post. Sheely comes out with a punch. Leibold trying to break out. That would have been something, but it is still 2-1 here. DB plays to the feet of Mahalik. Trying to spin out of trouble, he does. That's unfortunate, deflects right to Opoku. Mahalik trying to recover. Opoku riding the challenge. Holds up. Sinclair. Singelman. Kalov. Kalov ridden off by Mayer. In some space, looking to cross. He's got Opoku there. Deflects out. Off of Opoku in the end. Harms exhales, and rightfully so.
Caught a little deflection from down in the corner here. Look at all the players from Syracuse. Singelman came in, Kalov was there, Opoku, and then good little rotation out by Byros. That pocket down from the inside, so important. And go back to Tommy Mahalik from distance. Just how close is it? I don't know if that would have snuck into the back post, but Russell Shealy, he's not taking any chances.
It was nervy. He got to get a hand on that. As Matt Thompson's going to pull this back after a foul committed in the middle of the park. Endely goes down hard. Shealy, the second team All-ACC keeper. Got his team a 2-1 advantage right now. As we crossed under 20 alongside Devin Kerr, I'm Dallin Cuff. College Cup final. Indiana looking for their 9th national championship. Syracuse looking for their first ever in program history, and they're just under 20 minutes from getting it. Nathan Opoku goal and a Kurt Kaloff goal, but here we go. Sarver goes down the box. Matt Thompson didn't wave it off, gave it a thought. He was right there. Patrick McDonald equalized in between those Syracuse goals. 2-1 is the difference right now. Not as many chances for either team in this second half. Kaloff dancing by Wagner. This could be an opportunity. Byros plays it wide to Opoku. Krzyzewski in the middle. Opoku, square ball, finds the feet of Leibold. Couple touches, deflects. Arms there. Quick release the other way. Here we go. Sessop. To Endely. Poked away, and McDonald wins the race there for it. Appeals for handball, none given. At what point, if at all, does Indiana start to do something different to generate more chances?
You stay right now. We're right where you're at because they've reset their lines. They come higher. This move right here, Daniel Mooney, we saw it at the end of the first half. It's continued. He continues to push forward into the midfield. Anthony Sinclair, Krzyzewski, Pacelli, whoever's rotating through, even Byros, you got to commit.
Endely shot just north of the goal. And they saying Shealy got a piece of it.
I like this though because same thing, as Mooney comes up, now all of a sudden that's the committal that you want. Sinclair goes over, so on the back line, if your 6 jumps up, you have to make a decision. One of the center backs, are you going to track with him or allow that space to develop and then challenge? They choose the latter. Endely almost gets the best of it. I like what I'm seeing from Indiana right now.
Deflection actually after Abdi Salim, the defender's shin, so Witten brings 6th corner of the match. Into the mixer. Popped back out. Wittenbrink. Oh, wow. Oh, whoa! Goal! No! Did it cross the line or not? There is no signal from Thompson. That is reviewable.
That looked in. It was close, very close, right off the 90.
And we'll see if they actually take a look. Let's us take a look first.
Oh, no, it's out. It's out.
Wow.
Heck of a flick by Joey Mayer to get this thing to the back post. That was very impressive by the center back just to even redirect it.
And Matt Thompson is going to go take a look, or at least first he's going to go talk to Selma Perez, it looks like. The AR on the far side. There are 4 things you can review in college soccer using the video. Disciplinary matters, identification of a player, if the ball crossed the goal line, and if the foul is in or outside of the box. You see the miss kick by Opoku.
Man, it's close, but it's not over. Good job. Look at the background. She's right there. Selma Perez, perfect. She's got a view about 1.5 yards. She can see it. Matthew Thompson goes over. Quick dialogue.
And now he's talking to Matt Thompson. Ian McIntyre.
Joey Mayer keeps telling him that he wants him to go have a look. I don't blame him. I'd be barking in his ear as well.
He hasn't gone to the monitor, and in all honesty, they're right. I mean, it's a call in the field. Great job by Perez and by Thompson. And Shealy will bring it back, and Thompson's arm is up. I'm not if he's signaling offside prior to this. Let's take a look. Mayer is slightly off there. I mean, it's tight. What do you think?
It's really tight. Very difficult from that angle to tell because it is skewed a little bit.
Well, whether here nor there, the ball did not go in the back of the net, so the 2-1 scoreline is just. As Perez was watching the ball, I don't ever remember seeing a flag go up, but here we are. Good ball by Sarver, right into the stride of Sessa. He's got numbers. Looking for Endely, and a last-ditch effort by Sinclair, and Shealy almost spilled it out for a corner. But what a play by Anthony Sinclair.
I think Sessa, he could be the catalyst to the comeback here. Get him higher. You got to start to punch back a little bit on these outside mids for Syracuse. The wingbacks, they give you no respect at all. They say, we're going to stay high, try and pin you back in here. Seen a couple of runs from Beebe. Now you're getting balance from Sesak on the other side. Keep Syracuse honest, especially with the way that Mooney's coming off the back line.
Opoku trying to play Kashevsky. Harms off his line. Ooh! Nasty collision there. Ball is spilled and Harms is down. The transfer from Duke, who's been outstanding, especially in these last 8 games where he got consecutive starts. He's up and okay, and that is good to see.
Watch his head, goes around, got to be brave, and he is.
He wants a card from Matt Thompson. Is that a cardable offense there?
If you carded him here, I can understand it. Don't necessarily think you need to. It is a foul, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Mooney, good job, holds the runner up, steps out of the way to allow his goalkeeper to collect it, and then you reach for it. It's not like that was one movement altogether. Stay here, though. Continue to push high. Look at how deep defensively. This is the one thing Ian McIntyre was very concerned about, both in the matchup against Indiana and the semifinal against Creighton. He said, we can't sit back. We have to continue to find a way to push the tempo up high. It doesn't have to be wide open, run and gun, but we are not built to sit back defensively and absorb this much pressure.
They are a good defensive team, but sometimes their offense is the best defense. Endely into the box. Crowded out for another corner. 7th of the match, under 15 minutes to play. Indiana seeking that equalizer. They did it off a set piece in the first half. McDonald got the goal. Can they do it again? Wittenbrink to take. Doesn't beat the first man. Right to the feet of Byros. Labeled in the foot race with Wagner. Back to Harms. Floated forward. Mooney still up there. The center back. He flicks it on Sarkazov. We got 2 watch parties going on at both campuses. The basketball arena serving for it. The Dome in Syracuse and Central New York out at Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Indiana. Both these teams have national championship history as we recounted at halftime. The 1987 historic shot from Keith Smart on the baseline, giving the Hoosiers their 5th national championship. Syracuse remembers that moment well, but a chance to get one back here on the pitch. To be the first title ever for Syracuse. Opoku trying to pressure Mooney.
The next question is going to be in this game of cat and mouse that both managers admitted would take place. Mooney comes. Can you overload with Mahalik too? They're keeping him a little bit high next to Sarver. With Endely coming more back to the inside.
Byros charging down the middle of the pitch. He's got Leibold out wide. Pass pulls him wider. Leibold gets a cross off, but Meyer wins the race to the near post. Pushing off the ball. Handball appeals, nothing given. You thought that was a handball?
A couple tonight we've seen. Maybe another one there, no?
To the feet of Kalov, back to Byros. Krzyzewski, clever! Oh, Kalov couldn't quite get it sorted.
That's a back pass.
And they're asking for it. Wow. Two end-to-end. We'll come back to that in a second and see a replay, but back come the Hoosiers. Can't intentionally pass it back. If it's a deflection, then the goalie can use his hands. Brink on it. Back on that favored right foot. He does. Flips it in. Gee, spills it, but then corrals.
Good job by Wittenbrink here. Just notice the little cutback. You slow it down all of a sudden as a defender. You've got to reset yourself. Your body's moving one direction. The idea is to stop and be able to face so that you can challenge head on. They are scrambling in this instance. Wittenbrink recognizes that if he peels it, he's got extra runs. No one at the top of the 18, but they are committing a lot of numbers forward right now. Just watch Sesek on the right-hand side with Endeli coming in. You've started to create more numbers. Just be careful that you don't overcrowd those areas. Still have to have representation on the width.
Working on Singleman. Good low ball played in. Celine there. Poor distribution though. Turns it right back over. Donald. Sarver. Flex Endeli couldn't corral it. Endeli! 2-2! He just scores big goals! 2020 semifinal, he gave him the game winner. He gives him the equalizer in the 2022 Natty.
Just told you about this space right at the top of the box. You stretch, you overload on the inside, but you got to have it on the width. More appropriately, where's the late run coming from? Now it's not out of your screen, but watch him just drift off here. Recognizes that there's an influx of players by Syracuse defensively. They're all ball watching. They forget about the runners on the back shoulder, and then Endeli goes to work. Seen it so many times before. The distributor in game one, the semifinal matchup against Pitt. We saw it in 2020. Enter Sandman for his strike from distance to get us level.
And this Indiana crowd is feeling it. They want that ninth star. They've had the momentum and now they've capitalized. 2-2. His fourth goal of the season for Endeli, the senior from Minnesota. Remember, he had that chance on the doorstep 5 minutes into the match, didn't capitalize. But when they needed him most, he stood tall yet again. And what a strike it was. And remember, Syracuse, when they got equalized earlier in this match, they scored 86 seconds later to take a 2-1 lead. Friday night, when they got equalized, they scored 91 seconds later to take the lead. How do they respond again? Opoku on it. Opoku in the box. Didn't get much on it. Out for a goal kick. We've seen some fantastic finals here at WakeMed Soccer Park in recent years and in recent weeks. As the women last week put on a show, UCLA and UNC is telling Mahalik is slow to get up. UCLA equalizing with less than 20 seconds to go and then winning in overtime 3-2.
It's very impressive ball movement. And it's just more positionally from the players. Wittenbrink comes out. Talked about the bodies on the inside. Okay, if Endeli comes, where does Mahalik go? He had drifted to the near post run as well. Sammy Sarver comes to the near touchline. 9 in white right there. I'll give him this. Momentum, head up the entire time. Even when you're struggling through games, you're trying to find a way to get to the next step. They've been chasing here in the second half, and credit to Endeli. It's like 4-year-olds chasing the ball, right? They just look like a little bushel of bees, and he backed off of it. He recognized, I got to get away from the play, because this is where the space is and where it's going to be most dangerous.
Donald misplayed it. turned it over. Opoku is going to be able to leg this one out. Oh, Opoku again, just breaking guys' ankles. No foul there. Wittenberg pushes Caleb off the ball. First team all Big Ten selection. Just scoop passes forward to Sarver. Under 10 we go. 2-2 from Wake Med Soccer Park alongside Devin Kerr. I'm Dallin Cuff. National championship on the line. Could be the 9th for Indiana, could be the 1st for Syracuse. That man, 3rd-team All-American Nathan Opoku for Syracuse has a goal and an assist today. After that Herb Ender League goal, we find ourselves knotted at 2s. And just so you know, in college soccer, when it hits 0s, that is it. I know you've been watching the World Cup maybe. There is no injury time or added time in college soccer. We'd be going to 2 10-minute overtime periods, a new rule this year. No golden goal or sudden victory. We would go the full 20, and if still tied then, we would go to penalties.
A little flat in their shape right now at Syracuse, almost exclusively 5 at the back, 4 coming across the middle because Kurt Caleb has dropped down in. Noah Singelman off the right shoulder of Abdi Salim. Did a good job by Indiana just sliding in between those spaces. Got to create depth down. And find a way, even if defensively, we're going to sit this way and try and keep the game in front of us. When you start to play out of it, don't panic, number 1. But number 2, where the depth piece is going to come from, tracking defensively and trying to build off of each other. Similar in terms of lack of communication or at least execution that we saw at the tail end of the first half for Indiana, where those pockets were opening up for Syracuse. Now, it's for the boys in the white jerseys.
Foul there, so a set piece from a dangerous spot here. Indiana scored already off a set piece on the season. 41% of their goals come from set pieces. And they deliver again under 8 in the national final. Open in. Got a piece of it, Mayer did, but couldn't keep it in. A number of changes now for Syracuse. Levante Johnson, the 1st-team All-American, is coming back in the game. Back in the game. As is Camden Holbrook. He'll get back in here as well. And Jackson Glenn. Jackson Glenn had a big impact in the game in the semifinal. Playing a lot of minutes. The junior from Skysville, Maryland. The 2nd most minutes of the season. Last game, 74. Comes in for Byros. We'll see what these changes mean in terms of any tactics.
What you get out of Jackson Glenn, 23 in orange and blue for Syracuse, is this hybrid type role. You drop him into a marking back position on the left or right side, but he's really comfortable in the spaces just in front of the back 3-2. Was a key catalyst to locking down a lot of the movements against Duncan McGuire in the semifinal matchup against Creighton. Physically, very demanding of himself, and they're losing that battle centrally right now.
Sarver holds it up nicely. Sprayed out to Wittenbrink. Syracuse found themselves the same scoreline Friday night. It was a Levante Johnson goal in the 86th minute that gave them the winner, assisted by Opoku. Mooney again coming into that midfield. He gets laid out. No call on the turnover. But it finds it. Oh, that was delayed. Eventually was called. And Indiana will take the free kick, see if they send forward their big center backs.
Now committing on Syracuse.
14th foul in the match for Syracuse. One thing Indiana does well, top 10 in the nation in fouls conceded. They usually give about 8 a game. I've not seen Syracuse have a lot of dangerous set pieces. This could be one as Wittenbrink sizes things up. Driven. Wagner tried to pop that out wide to Beebe, but with the feet away. All right, what do we make these last 5 minutes here, Devin?
A little bit more intensity out of Syracuse right now. Heads are hanging, energy level is dropped. Every single ball, if you watch right now for Indiana, whether it's out or a simple little 5-yard pass, they're sprinting. They are determined in their current situation. I'd like to see the striking partnership of Levante Johnson and Nathaniel Opoku start to emerge once again, because it's really been the Opoku show. He's been brilliant in both the semifinal and the final match, but Johnson just having some trouble right now. Defensively, they've dropped him deeper, sort of playing him as a false nine, trying to lock up some of the spaces because of how flat they've gotten. Chesky and Johnson doing similar work. The idea is because of that man right there, Mooney coming off the back and helping create some more movement coming forward.
Johnson pressures BB, goes back to Harms.
Seems like most of the balls going forward for Syracuse right now, though. We're just hit with a hope, wink and a prayer. Go right onto it. Indiana happy to collect and go the other direction.
We saw that triple substitution from Syracuse. IU has only subbed once this match. Been the same sub twice, Tony Mahalik to come in the game for Alun Gumbali. Remember, they played this game Friday night, the semifinal. It's the first year this was not played on Sunday, so an extra day of rest here. How that impacts things, we shall see with 3:45 to go in regular time. I asked you at the end of the first half, is Indiana just trying to hang on to get to the break? Do you think Syracuse is trying to hang on just to get to overtime and recap?
If I'm wearing a Syracuse jersey right now, I'd be worried. When we were at 2-1, I said, the score scares me. And this is, again, in terms of talent, I'd like to be very clear. I'm not being disrespectful to any of the players in Indiana right now, but in terms of overall talent, this isn't the best team that they've had, nor under Todd Yeagley. You know, that 2018 team, you're talking double-digit professional players and guys that are playing at really high levels around this country and around the world. These guys just work, and they always seem to find these little moments within a game, especially as the year has gone on. They push you, they prod you, they find that moment, they go get their goal. That's certainly what happened here in the second half. Todd Yeagley, manager there for Indiana, his father, Jerry, was so good about getting the best out of the individual player to find a way to commit to the program overall. And Syracuse right now, as good as they are on the ball, they're not on the ball very much. And when the outlet passes are coming, it's a turnover. Again, Ian McIntyre, just joining us, talked about it 20 minutes ago. He said, we are not built to sit back and absorb pressure, and yet for the last 15 minutes, they are defending for their lives.
Indiana's put them under constant pressure. They've dominated the second half. And as we said, this team is a blue-collar team that just works for each other. Todd Yeagley loves the leadership and toughness of this group, and you've seen it on full display in the second half.
Be careful with the numbers you're committing here, because they're tempting with fate with Opoku up top.
Looking for Mahalik in the channel, brings it down, tries to play it, deflects out. Brings around again with just over 90 seconds. Holbrook, the Cary, North Carolina native, to take the throw in. He's taking his time. Yeah, it does not seem like the Orange are dying to get this thing going back and play. They might want to regroup, and they're going to play the full 20 minutes of overtime. As we mentioned, that is a new rule in college soccer this year. If still tied, then we will go to pens. Indiana has not gone to penalties this year in any tournament. Syracuse went against UVA in the ACC semifinal. Body spilling around, deflects off of Matt Thompson, the official, so he'll bring it back.
1 minute remaining in regulation.
See if Thompson stops the clock, and Shealy's hardly rushing to get the ball back.
He doesn't have to. They better go get it quick.
And just about 20 seconds has gone off the clock since that. Now drop ball, here we go. 40 to play. Mooney flips it long. A lot of blue and orange shirts there. See if they win the second ball. And that's a lot of contact by Sinclair. No call. 30 seconds left. Sinclair trying to make the run. Body spill again. And Sinclair is down now. The Syracuse try to play it quick. The clock is ticking, and now it will stop as Thompson makes a signal to stop the clock as Sinclair is down.
Favor being repaid. Anthony Sinclair, just the shoulder to shoulder on the other end.
And a yellow card has been issued as well.
challenge on Tommy Mahalik, tracking back here. Just a reached out arm right over in front of him. You know, if that arm doesn't come away from the body, you probably escape the referee in the situation, but because it extends out and you create the contact, you get yourself into trouble.
It's not the same scenario, but last week in the UCLA-UNC final, on this goal with under 20 seconds, there was a goal scored. It changed things, headed down, and there's going to be a foul. And that will not be the case here. So for the 6th time in 9 years in the Men's College Cup final, we're heading to an extra frame, but for the first time, it will not be golden goal. It'll be the full 20 for everything to play for. I'm here in the College Cup final between Indiana and Syracuse, and Devin Kerr, the scoring opened beautifully by Nathan Opoku.
Third-team All-American for a reason. Unpredictable, difficult at times, but amazing is what Ian McIntyre says. The vision to slow this thing down, pick out the far post instead of trying to go for power, gives them the 1-0 lead, but 41% of goals scored by Indiana have come from set-piece opportunities. Patrick McDonald, the laces were out.
Thank you, Ray Finkel. And then for the third goal, Kurt Halla. Beautiful touch and finish.
The same thing, though, but look at Opoku. Again, he goes to work. He doesn't get what he wants and recognizes that he does have runners in the backside. Love the presence by Kaczewski. He gets a body on the runner, which allows the space to open up for the go-ahead goal. And Endley, you know what? We're going to stop running out of superlatives eventually because of the individual moments of brilliance that he's able to produce. Blaine, Minnesota. Mr. Minnesota, eventually he's going to be Mr. Indiana if he keeps it up like this.
He's going to be Mr. SportsCenter tonight. That is going to be in there in the top 10 for the day. Here's your new overtime rules from NCAA this year. 2 10-minute periods played in their entirety. There is no sudden victory or golden goal. If still tied, we will go to penalty kicks to decide the winner. Syracuse had to go to pens once in the tournament phase of this season. That was the ACC tournament semifinal against UVA. Indiana has not gone there yet in either the Big Ten or the NCAA tournament. They did take a penalty in the semifinal Friday night. Ryan Wittenbrink had his first penalty saved of the year by Joe Van der Sar, but scored on the rebound. All right, Dev. Everything to play for. National championship on the line, going into overtime. What are you focused on as we start this?
Midfield from Syracuse. How deep are you going to sit here? Because for really the last 25, 30 minutes, they've just said, you can have the ball, and we're going to try and track you. Didn't go very well, did it? Obviously, giving up a couple of goals in the process, and you got to find a way to fight back a little bit. Even if you're not willing to stretch yourselves this thin, I understand your legs are getting tired. You got to find a way to fight back a little bit, and for Indiana, the intensity. Yeagley's going to say, I like that. Make me love it. Bring it to another level. That's when they are at their best.
Sure, what's happening here? They've tried to start it a couple times now. Thompson had not blown the whistle yet, apparently. So here we go. There it is. We're underway. 6th time in 9 seasons. The Men's College Cup final has gone to overtime. Last time we saw it was 2020. This Indiana team lost to Marshall in a golden goal situation behind a Jameel Roberts goal. 1-0 was the final there. These players told us they thought so much about that game and falling short. And they were coming here for revenge, is what the word they used with us. And Daniel Mooney said very clearly when they sat down with us on Thursday, they clawed themselves back twice in this game, equalized twice to keep it to get it to 2-2. That's where we find ourselves now.
There's a quick little tweak defensively, bottom left side of your screen. That's Nathaniel Opoku, who's come out to the right side. Johnson from Syracuse had been fulfilling that role, and yes, there was the time where he tracked all the way back 5 yards with his goal and got stuck in, but they did have success, Indiana, attacking this left-hand flank.
Wittenbrink, first team all Big East winger on the ball. Laid back to Patrick McDonald. Hangs it to Mooney.
The issue you run into, though, you flatten out the midfield, you bring one of your strikers off that front line down, and all of a sudden it's Nathaniel Opoku who's chasing by his lonesome. And he's pretty much sitting right on the shoulder of Joey Mayer. So anytime the ball goes to the far side of the field, very simplistic in nature for Daniel Mooney to just step right through it, be aggressive. He can go up into the space. More importantly, he's starting to ping the ball around the field a little bit.
Alec on it. Dinks through, almost fell to Endley, but Krzyzewski comes in to pick it off. Opoku can't hold it up, but does go off an Indiana player. Doesn't go out, Sarver's on it. Got some space, some time. Finds a feed to McDonald. Working on Singleman. Just a reminder, you can sub out in this first period of overtime and return to the match in the second period of overtime here in college soccer, so they can still get some fresh legs on here if so chosen. We'll run back this stat for you. 7 assists for Nick Sesok this year. 4 of them from long throw-ins like this as they're winding one up. Creighton scored in this goal in this very spot on Friday night against Syracuse. It did not go long. They went short. Got a little bit of room here. Wittenbrink trying to get end line. It's back to Sesok. He's got bodies in the mixer. Donald pops it forward to Sarver. A lot of contact there, right on the edge of the box. No call. Opoku trying to settle. And Sarver forces it out. And there will be one of those subs. So Singleman makes way for Kalov. Second goal scorer for Syracuse. Sophomore from Jersey. Singleman, the senior from Germany, make way to the bench. Sinclair pops it up. Johnson trying to find the ball. Sinclair legged this out. He's in a race with McDonald. He keeps it in play. Johnson, nice, clever touch to Krzyzewski. Johnson making the run up the wing. He's got Opoku in the middle, trying to look for a strike partner. Arm spills it. Shouldn't say spills it, just comes out and makes contact with it. You gotta add to. Trying to usher it out, it does not go out. Johnson. Ball to Sinclair. Looking for Opoku. Finds him. Still Opoku, gets the shot off the flex. Corner. Syracuse starting to finally turn the screws the other way. It's been a while since they've applied any pressure. Their 6th corner of the match. Kalov strolls over to take. Right-footed Kalov. Out-swinging ball. Mooney deals it easily. Byros kind of heads it back in. Oh! Mooney slipped there, but Holmes was able to get there in time. Got Endley in the channel, didn't play him. Wittenbrink now will try to, but Endley had already checked his run.
Using the speed and crossing patterns of Endley. Sam Sarver just drifting a little bit more to the right-sided flank. They're trying to play into his feet, but you are doing a good job if you're on the inside right now in terms of vision. McDonald, Jack Wagner holding the space down underneath.
Tackle by Sarver, keeps it in play. Right out to Mahalik. Excuse me, to Sesok. Donald. Beebe. Chest it down. The opportunity now. Dut's got a lot of green in front of him. Opoku in the middle. 2 All-American strikers. Oh, big foul there by Mayer. And will there be a card issued there? There's a question. Just outside the box.
It's a foul. It's the right decision. Mayer felt like he had the ability to get stuck in, but he does pause a little bit with the space. Difficult to tell from the angle. You always want him to make the first move, and he forces himself into the situation. Smart, though, by Johnson. Striker keeps the ball close in proximity to his body, allows himself to get that touch around the defender after he overcommits.
So Mayer does go in the book. This is tough because it's so close to the 8. You think you can get up and down on the wall, and can they get this on frame?
You can. From this angle, I like the idea of moving it aside. If you have 3, you go touch, stop, hit. I don't envision them using Jackson Glenn at the top, but you can slide over, run onto it. There's a little gap in between the wall right now, though. They pinch in a little bit.
AT Harms trying to set his wall. Kaloff stands over it, as does Byros.
Come back across your body, too. Challenge the positioning of the goalkeeper.
It's labeled in Kaloff. Right into the wall. Falls labeled, and Kaloff couldn't decide who was going to try to take another crack at it. And Sinclair's going to win the race to the ball there. See if he can turn back upfield. He does. Good tackle by Endeley. Labeled working down that left wing.
And his man gets out of his way. This is in the back of the net. And it looks to run into their own Syracuse player. Oh, no. Apologies. That's Jack Wagner. Hats off to you, young man. Pretty impressive how you talked about the experience, Alan, for Indiana. Littered all over the field. Backline guys up top, central midfielders, sophomore to freshman.
Yeah. As we mentioned, 6 of these starters, the starting lineup, now 5 guys on the pitch, played in that 2020, started that 2020 final against Marshall.
It was also the talking point for Ian McIntyre, though. He said that our success, yes, they're talented individuals, but we're a bit older. You know, a lot of these transfers coming in, 12, 5 of which involved in the starting lineup tonight. They've seen a lot of pressure-packed situations. Sure, it's not a national final for D1, but they understand what's necessary of them, and just the maturity as you grow older as a young man. There's a big difference in a conversation, whether it's personal or professional, than an 18-year-old and a 23-year-old. Syracuse Orange have had the run of luck all season long, good run of play. Just struggling a little bit right now within the midfield, and to be honest, they're just being outworked. 50-50 balls. After you go direct up over the top, coming down underneath. Anthony Sinclair, he's chasing a ton. Don't have that same commanding presence we saw in the first half for Syracuse.
Endeley on the turn. He had the beautiful equalizer. Here's Wittenbrink. Skips end line past Kaloff. Driven ball. Skipped across. Arriving late. And hit on the Sesok. Very wide.
We gave praise to the positioning of JT Harms. Watch Russell Shealy. It's smartly done here by Wittenbrink. He said, you're going to give me the end line? That's fine, I'll take it. But the goalkeeper, great job. Just squares himself up. He knows if the ball comes across, he has the ability to collect, but he can attack it himself. And with his defenders still retreating, he can step in and help clear it off the line.
35 seconds left in the first overtime. Indiana has been to 4 of the last 6 College Cups. They made it to the final in 20. As we mentioned, losing to Marshall in overtime. In 17, they lost in overtime to Stanford. And here they are again, battling an OT in a College Cup final. Looking for that elusive 9th star, as you've got a Syracuse player down that is labeled. A sophomore from Germany. Oh.
Back of his right foot. Little follow through.
Big swing there by McDonald.
He was very impactful in the first half. On the right side, on the left side, excuse me. Jonah Leibold. And Holbrook has helped to reprieve him at times to get those legs a rest.
Long throw, skipping through the box. Will it fall? It does. Contact, no call. Mayer stays down, and the clock will expire. And Mayer still on the deck. And Indiana players wondering how that's not a penalty. We'll take another look.
The way that he was stepping through it, I was with him. You know, from this angle, it looked like he had a clear-cut opportunity. Gets in front of the player, an opportunity to step through and hit it. Ooh, does he actually come from the side? Look from behind from our angle, and that's a difficult one.
Todd Yeagley's upset here. And then if you're just tuning in, you cannot review that in college soccer. That is not a reviewable play if there was not a foul is not reviewable like it is in world soccer.
Oh, that's so close.
Was Ole Gunley in front of him, though?
That's what I can't tell, if his body reestablishes position in front of him.
Okay, Ole Gunley may get the ball, too, and I think he may be in front of him. I mean, we can't tell that tight, and I would definitely err on the side of that was not a penalty. Well done by Matt Thompson and crew, but again, you cannot look at that. Ian McIntyre talking to his boys. All right, Devin, you saw those 10 minutes. It looked like Syracuse got themselves a little bit back more into this game. What do you expect here in the final 10?
Well, hopefully a goal.
Here's why I say no golden goal again, folks.
Correct.
We are playing this full entire 10 minutes, and if tied, then we go to penalties.
The reason I say that is not because I don't want to stand in the cold weather with you as much as I enjoy it, my friend.
Yeah.
It's that winning in pens, it's the best way to win. It's the worst way to lose. You know, you'd like to see it done from the run of play. Syracuse, yes, they reestablished themselves, but I still go back to the fact that they're struggling for any sort of midfield presence to build off of. And a reminder, they don't need to have the ball a ton, but when they do, they need bodies, and we haven't seen that. They're coming off the back line. They're looking for Johnson, Opoku. Kaczewski has gotten very silent within this game. Anthony Sinclair, you don't expect him to be on it a ton, but he's had to play cleanup so much. There's just a level of intensity right now that is not being reciprocated by Syracuse that is certainly bred into these kids from Indiana. Just feels like the belief is there.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the body language right now. Everybody on Indiana, head up, positive, talking to each other. Entire back three and Anthony Sinclair and Russell Shealy heads down. I mean, it's not the look you want if you're Ian McIntyre.
You gotta. I mean, if you're Syracuse, you got to rally the troops. Anthony Sinclair, one of their captains, their leaders. We've talked about this before. It's a real thing. The institutional knowledge and the historical success of Indiana. They expect to be here. They expect to win this game. And it's almost like Man U in their heyday. It just seemed like things worked out for them, and those guys believe that.
And that's what they're playing for right there. National Championship Trophy. First time that we had the opportunity, you and I, to call Indiana in a College Cup 2020, the COVID season in the spring when it got pushed to May. Todd Yeagley talked about that. He said, we know what we are, but we know what this crest and this jersey is, and we are imposing figures when there's no bodies in it. University of Virginia talked about it as well. With all those stars up above it, it makes things a little bit nerve-wracking for you because you feel like, okay, how am I supposed to get by this? They've done it so many times before. Don't give it to them if you're Syracuse. India's going to fight. We've seen that. If you're Syracuse, start to punch back here. Plenty of talent on both sides, and who wants it more with 10 minutes to go?
We switch ends, and we go again. The final 10 minutes of overtime here from Cary, North Carolina. Here in WakeMed Soccer Park. Again, a great host as Matt Thompson is talking to something about JT Harms here, about what's behind the goal. There's a water bottle in the net. Matt Thompson knocks it out, gets a sarcastic cheer from the fans behind the bench. And now we're ready to go. Syracuse controlled the majority of this first half. They were up 2-1 at the break. Indiana really dominated the second half. And there was a big collision there. Sarver and Oyagama. He's upset. Oyagama is. We'll see, Abdi Salim is. Salim is on a yellow. And maybe where there's some extra yelling. Oh, sheesh. How jumped him. That was his inside of his leg. Oh,
that's the main issue. Whoa. The first one for sure, but to be fair, he was backing up watching the play, whistled and one. He's just tracking back there. It's not like he intentionally went over and tried to connect with Sam Sarver.
It didn't look like there was any malice he was backing up either.
Not at all.
But obviously with him carrying a yellow, you can see why people are, the fans and some of the bench, upset. Label trying to run in some space. So well read by Mooney. See why he's a third-team All-American. Oh, great touch. Back to the center back now. Making the run forward. Mahalik is doubling off, and there's Sheely to corral. Wow. Sheely. He's been good off his line today.
Yeah, minus the one.
Minus the one.
Minus the one. He's been excellent off his line, but I'll tell you who's been pretty fantastic in this game, especially since the start of the second half, is Daniel Mooney. The Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year back-to-back. First time ever for an Indiana Hoosier. He is wearing multiple hats right now. One-on-one defending. Good pressure coming off the back line, challenging the space of Syracuse in these center spots. And those are the little things, you know, you think down and you take a touch. You push yourself up higher. You beat one guy. But that trickle-down effect, the way it affects the movements from everybody else. You're on the back three, you've got an attacker running at you, but you've still got the marks from the other two strikers in Sarver, right? One's there, Endelee's right there where their run's coming from. So now you expect a midfielder to come over. But the way that they flatten themselves out tactically, it's very difficult to have depth. The rotation's slower to come over and help out defensively.
Johnson picks it up in a little pocket of space, cuts it back. He's got Label to his left. Left the pass way short. Just over 8 minutes to go. Second overtime here. If you're on this field right now, are you thinking about penalties at all?
No, absolutely not. That makes you tentative in your actions. It makes you wondering whether or not you're willing to chase this game.
Abold in some space, arms off his line, big save! Could be going the other way here. Oh, what a tackle by Krzyzewski on Wagoner. And Sarver just went down. He got the call that time. Krzyzewski's upset, and he may get himself a yellow for dissent. No, he won't.
Back and forth all year long. JT Harms, Brian Pratt, who's going to cement themselves as the #1. Watch him read this. That touch right there. It's in the wheelhouse for Leibold. He has to take the extended touch to use the speed to his advantage. Faster without the ball, but the second that he does, it's smarts by JT Harms, but it's also scouting and knowing the opponent that if that touch does happen, I got to be quick on the draw to come off the line and close down the space.
Yeah, a huge save like that against UNCG in the quarterfinal game for Indiana to maintain their advantage. And here he maintains the tie at 2-2. Jackson Glenn stepping forward, looking for Opoku. Hits his feet, but he can't spin off the defender. Mooney's distribution a bit off. Mahalik picks it up in midfield. Donald combining with Mahalik, finding Sarver. He does! Play on a signal. Sarver trying to get it out wide. Shot! Oh, outside netting.
Almost looked as if Sam Sarver a little surprised that the ball bounced through to him. Smart ball by Mahalik, even off the deflection. He also had to peel down. He turned to his right to get back through from behind, lost a bit of speed. And then he also lost the ability to get it on his right foot. Good recovery defensively in the middle of the field by Syracuse. Initially one-on-one, drift back over. Now it's 2v1. You have to take it to your left.
Malungumbali just checked in for Brett Beebe. So Gumbali usually a forward, and Beebe your left back. Interesting, trying to dink it over the top to Sarver. Flag stays down. possessed. Krzyzewski just trying to play it down into the channel.
Certainly an interesting change, but that's just about speed and physicality of play, regardless of where you're at on the field. They did used to use him when they would play more of a 4-2-3-1. Gumbali would play as an out-and-out left midfielder, but he was really good in terms of coverage, the way that they overlap with the outside back. So he would drop in and help out. The idea is when you're matched up in those specific situations against Johnson or Opoku, physically it's more demanding than a BB. You can get a body on him, and if the ball does go over the top, he can chase down in and help out.
And now when you sub out within a period of overtime, you cannot re-enter. So BB's night is over. Quick throw, maybe an opportunity here. Falls for Wagner, the freshman. Oh! Lashed at it.
Oh, he's right there. They're so quick on the draw here from Mihalik. Look at the little hop. That little hop right there on Jack Wagner. Just coming back up. The last skip. Hit it now. Instead, he lets it take another hop and he catches it on the way up. Such a smart move by the Big Ten all-freshman. Scott Gallagher product out of St. Louis.
He is gonna want that back. It was really smart, but that could have been his first career goal. And you couldn't pick a bigger time.
I talked about big moments earlier, right? Yeah. And how they've all experienced it. That young man won the Golden Ball and was part of the best 11 at the 2017 National Championship when his team took down the title.
Labeled, early ball, Opoku! Great tackle by Mayer. 3:30 to go before penalties loom. You know your gun lay in a foot race with Sarver. Just used his strength well. Sarver wants a foul, he's not getting it. Purdy looking for some help. Label. Lays it off to Sinclair. Krzyzewski wants it, he gets it. Mbale gets a piece of that pass to slow it down. Label. Wow.
And he certainly floated in and out of this game, but Jonah Label looked a little bit closer from our angle.
Nate Ward has just checked in the match. He's going to make that run into the channel. He's a junior from Pennsylvania. Some experience there, maybe thinking about who's going to take a penalty.
100%. Yeah, now you're starting to strategically place some bodies as to who you feel like can have a save from the spot. I have to imagine it's got to be one of the favorites for Todd Yeagley.
Opoku riding the challenge of Mooney. A couple of All-Americans. No call. Mooney wins the battle, but now he may be out of position as Opoku slow to get up, still down. There's nobody in the box because Opoku's limping in the middle of the field. .145 to go.
He's got us in. McIntyre has the sub set up on the far touchline as well. Whether or not he can get him in is another story.
That's a good point. Clock is still running again. If you've been watching the World Cup, there is no injury time or stoppage time in college soccer. We get zeros, it's over. And if the score stays the same, we are going to pens. Clever footwork by Johnson. Spin move doesn't come off.
Good touch.
Endely just taken out. Nope, no call.
That was from behind.
Wow. This is getting a little wild.
That's foul. In case anybody at home is wondering, that's probably one that got missed there, my friends.
Might be a yellow. We're under 60 seconds to go. JT Harm's going to play it long. His role will change drastically in this game in about 50 seconds, as will Russell Shealy's, as the two keepers will be facing penalties. That's some late dramas in store here. Penalty shootout in the final was 2019. Georgetown and UVA. Georgetown won 7-6. Long ball played in, flicked on. Right to the arms, though. Arms of harms. And here we go. The drama's going to continue. Will Indiana get their 9th star, or will Syracuse go down in history as the first title team ever in the history of the Orange program? Back here in Cary, North Carolina, 110 minutes worthy of a championship game. These two teams put forth 2-2 between Syracuse and Indiana. As we head into penalties, somebody is walking away with that national championship trophy. Indiana's been to a record 17 NCAA championship matches, only the 2nd time finishing with penalties today. They won their 7th star back in 04, beating UC Santa Barbara 3-2 alongside Devin Kerr. I'm Dallin Cuff. Syracuse has never been on this stage before, has never played in a national championship match. But this team that was picked 4th in their Atlantic Division, overlooked early in the year, forgotten, didn't make a tournament last year, has a chance to hoist that trophy here today. Indiana will shoot first. Russell Shealy in goal for Syracuse, JT Harms for Indiana. And again, Shealy made the big save in the semifinal match of the ACC tournament against UVA, a game where they trailed 2-1 in the 86th minute. Lorenzo Baselli equalized. They went into penalties 2-2. He saved Andreas Ulin's spot kick from UVA, and they won that penalty shootout, moving forward to win the ACC tournament, and now winning every game since to get to here. Indiana has yet to play a game to win into penalties this season. Ryan Wittenbrink is their main penalty taker. He did take one on Friday night in their loss, or excuse me, in their win against Pitt. That penalty was saved first time this year. And it looks like Wittenbrink will be the first kick taker. He is now 3 for 4 on the season after that miss Friday. And in that miss, he went to the keeper's right. It did rebound right to his feet, essentially. He put it home to give them a 1-0 lead. Let's see which way he goes here. Wittenbrink to set Indiana up. Perfect penalty. And Shealy guessed right, but he beat him anyway.
Does such a good job in the tail end of this. Watch his hips. As a goalkeeper, you almost expect the right footer to come back across the body, but you get just enough behind it. This is all about placement for Ryan Wittenbrink. Tuck it inside. Little nod to the gods. And 1-0.
We'll see if this is the same order they rolled out against UVA. Baselli did start it for UVA in the UVA game, and he was successful, as were all 5 penalty takers for the Orange. Harms in net to equalize the shootout. The Italian nets it. Similar spot for Lorenzo Baselli. He's so talented. You see him on a lot of set pieces, and whether it's from the corner or trying to pick one of them out, follows Wittenbrink's lead. Carson Henderlong has not appeared in this game yet. The Xavier transfer, 2-time All-Big East player. The senior steps forward against Shealy. Save! Big-time play by Russell Shealy. Henderlong, a goal scorer at Xavier, could not capitalize here. Shealy equal to the task.
He scored 22 goals in 45 appearances prior to his arrival in Indiana, and I'll tell you what, he's a little close to coming off his line there, Russell Shealy. Still a good save. Striker lacking for confidence and pulls one to the side.
Giorgio Krzyzewski at the spot. The order remains the same, the only other time they've been in penalties. Watch how much sting is put on this ball. I mean, this is some kind of save
from JT Harms. Reads it, got the 1 foot on, comes off, closes down the angle. And with that amount of momentum, that is very difficult for a goalkeeper to get a paw on it.
Tommy Mahalik, the sophomore, second team All Big Ten selection. Slots it home. Kurt Kalov trots to the spot. Kalov scored the second goal for Syracuse in the match. This is a deviation from what they did against UVA. He was the fourth kick taker.
Kalov loops it. How's it, son? Easy.
Young man.
You hit a few in your life, have you?
Sam Sarver now, the other sophomore, steps to it.
You just understand, to put a ball like this, to go that high, you better be real confident in yourself, but excellent technique. Stays just over the top of it, good amount of pace too.
To quote one of the great analysts of all time, Bill Raftery, onions. Sam Sarver. Puts it in, and he's hyped. Gives him a 3-2 lead. Noah Singelman now striding to the spot, one of the captains of this crew, a senior from Germany.
Notice how just on the backside of this run, he opens up. He started really head on, but the second that he starts to peel his run, now you're asking the goalkeeper more questions. Difficult to judge when you widen your run that way.
Short run up here from Singelman. Who is right?
These penalties.
I love it. Coaches always say they practice them, but you can't practice them with this pressure. The national championship is on the line as Joey Mayer trots to the spot. Gives them a 4-3 advantage. Now Colin Byros will have to make this to extend it.
Remember, he was part of that 2020 All-Tournament team that just fell short in the final against Marshall. Excellent placement from the center back. Square the entire way, opens up just at the end of it.
Byros, the grad student, the transfer from Akron. He's played in big games at Akron in the tournament. He took that final penalty against UVA that sent them forward in the ACC tournament semi. Bigger stage, more to play for. Can he do it? Nails it. And now we are essentially in sudden death. Luca Becerra, the younger brother of Victor Becerra, who played in that 2020 final and lost. Former Mac Herman finalist. Amazing pedigree. This is a freshman in a massive spot. Has not played in this match. Has not kicked a ball in the game. And he delivers. Sheely guessed right, but he put enough on it. Who's stepping forward? There's a little hesitation there from Syracuse.
He shows his cards a little bit here. Just watch the hip start to close early. He's trying to pull power back across, but he's definitely taken a few of these in his life. Bottom corner, you can't ask for better placement than that.
Julius Rausch, the sophomore from Germany, great pedigree. Dortmund Academy, Dusseldorf Academy. He's taking it quick. He slides it home. And Matt Thompson said, yeah, he did not blow the whistle. JT Harms asked right away. So now the pressure. So what happens here? Do you go the same way? Harms is dancing a little more now. Rausch again. Game theory went right back to the spot.
That's one of the more difficult things to do in general. When they've seen you, especially in this day and age, so much video, yet alone, and back-to-back situations for Julius Rausch.
Quentin Helmer, the Amsterdam native, product of AZ Alkmaar, one of the better clubs in Holland. Again, another player that has not played in this game, the red shirt sophomore. He puts it home. This is pretty impressive.
That was some kind of penalty, especially for someone who hasn't hit one, but Todd Yeagley talks about him. He calls him the Dutch factor. Ultimate confidence. I'd say so. Left footer. Again, challenging the goalkeeper. You start to move to your right, open up your hips, and stick that thing in the bottom corner.
Levante Johnson, first team All-American, the transfer from Seattle, helped change this program this year. 11 goals, 6 assists on the season. Has to score here to keep the dream alive for the Orange. Ooh! Off the board, down and in! The soccer gods are smiling down on Johnson as he smiles back to his team.
He came real head on with it. Just laces right through it. Foot and a half.
Wow, they thought they had it. All right, Malun Gumbali, Cincinnati native, Crew Academy product. He's played in big games, had a game-winning goal against UNCG in the quarterfinals of this tournament that was an absolute beauty. But he's got to score here. Shealy saves it! He sets the table! Now who steps forward for Syracuse? It has to be their captain, their heart and soul. The man in the middle, Anthony Sinclair.
He didn't get enough behind it. Didn't get it close enough to the post either. Just not the best of penalties for Gumbali. Well done by Russell Shealy. You still got to make the save, and he read it the entire way. One of the best in the ACC all year long has just given their captain the opportunity of a lifetime.
Second team All-League keeper Shealy has set the table for Anthony Sinclair, the senior from Costa Rica, to do what was unthinkable months ago. And the Orange are national champions for the first time in program history. Forgotten about, left behind, 12 transfers from all over the country have come together to etch their names in history and never be forgotten again.